record. Yes, Jamie.
Kelly, is it the 14th or the 21st?
I have it down as the 14th.
I thought it was the third Monday of the month.
We can switch it to that.
Is it always, wait, is it always the second Monday?
I always do it around the middle of the month. But this is kind of a weird month because it's, anyways, let me know.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's fine with me.
Okay, so it's the Coaching at a Glance starts Monday. That's what I have. I have it on my calendar. Okay. I have it on my team page. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so if you
have it on what? The 14th?
Yeah, that's what I have it on. So if you haven't started inviting, that's okay, because this is usually Wednesday on is the time I start inviting, just because it gives that short turnaround time. So people who are interested in doing it, you can immediately plug them into the group, and they don't have that lull, which I think some people kind of lose interest in it if they wait too long. So if you haven't started inviting, now's the time. And don't be afraid to make a post about it, because sometimes that really gets people thinking, and it's an indirect way to invite. And then I think it goes hand in hand when you go out to actually reach out and do a personal invite for people too. And a great and an easy way to kind of reach out to people about coaching is challengers that you have, and just sharing the discount with them, and talking about the business a little bit, and then they can plug into the group as well and kind of get a feel for it. I know that's a big thing that I do with my challengers, is it's just another resource for them to check it out and see if it's, besides the discount, if it's something that they want to pursue. So don't be afraid if you have challengers to reach out to them, or past challengers. Those are also great. Great people to invite. Aside from that, I wanted to get started, and tonight's topic has been something that I'm excited about, because I think it's a big issue with coaches, especially newer coaches. I know very few have the spousal support, and when I first signed up to coach, Jim wasn't opposed to it, but I wouldn't say he was necessarily supportive of it either. He was kind of indifferent. He was gone quite a bit, so he really didn't have much of a say in the matter anyways. But over the years, he has grown to be my number one fan. He is my CFO at the moment. He's my tax man. He runs the financial side of it for me, and without him, I couldn't be doing it all. I just can't. And without his support, I wouldn't be here, because he has picked up the slack for me, and it has really helped me focus more on the business, and he's been my number one supporter, and I think that makes a huge difference. But I'm going to have him talk when he's done doing his work over here, and just kind of give a husband's perspective of it, because I feel like he's kind of been through all of those feelings and all of that doubt, and he's kind of become a believer in it, in both the business and now the fitness side of it as well, because he has a pretty amazing transformation over his deployment. So anyways, without further ado, this is my husband, Jim.
All right, good evening, everybody. So I'll talk to you all who are sitting here, and then I'll try and also kind of speak to people who may want to watch this and understand my story. So if I'm talking about something that you probably already know or understand, then I guess it's for you to help you, but maybe not so much informational, if you will. So Kelly asked me to talk tonight because, like most of us, I'm sure when you started, you don't really understand the business, and it's not like a normal company. You don't just show up to work, have a brick and mortar business, or you think of something that's done from home, and you think about people driving pink Cadillacs around and selling makeup to people or whatever, and kind of pyramid schemes and whatever else, and that's what comes to mind. At least my initial opinions. So hopefully I'll fill in the gaps of what this actually is and what the company is and how it functions and why it is good for those who don't understand it. And then to make it easy, I decided I'm going to talk about what the company is and what the company is not, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about both of those things. So I know that there's opinions about this, and I kind of mentioned how I felt about it. I know when Kelly started, we had friends that were doing okay with it, but again, it seems like, from what I've heard from most people I've chatted with, is it's a pyramid scheme, kind of a waste of time because you're not really going to make too much money doing it. It's kind of a fad. I kind of thought, oh well, it's like one of those other things that you see on TV, Chuck Norris selling some sort of a fitness device, and you're gonna use it for 10 minutes and then throw it away. And it's not really a sustainable business. It's kind of how I felt when it came up. But I was thinking, if you want to go for it, then great. And that was kind of where I was at. So from then, I kind of grew to see what it's about. Now my opinion is that it's a good company. If it's treated as a business, it's something that will work. It's something that'll work for you and allow you to have more opportunity to build your life around stuff that you want, vice going to work 9 to 5. It's a legitimate fitness company that they're building products that will work for people, especially after I used them quite a bit and then found that they actually really worked. And then it builds a team. There's a great team, especially the team that you guys are a part of. And it builds productive and respected business owners, if you want to call it that, or coaches that get out and help those around them. They get together and build each other up, and it's a good thing. So trying to simplify it, I came up with for those who don't understand, basically a list of what I kind of thought what the company is. Maybe you didn't think that, and then what it is not. So I guess we'll start with what it is not, because these are where you get a lot of questions about why you don't see like this huge successful thing going on right away. But it's not a business where you build, it's not an established business, and it's not a salaried job. So, I mean, you guys know this, but you're not showing up at work and then punching the clock and then a week later, here's your paycheck. It's basically a business you're starting from the ground, as if you started one out in town and you don't have anybody that knows about it or wants to come there yet. It's going to take a while to get there. And it's not just a business where you're selling stuff. It's a relationship business. Any of the businesses that you think about that are successful or ones you want to go to, ones you want to go back to, are the places that you feel you're taken care of, have a relationship with, and things like that. It's like when I think I go to, where am I going to go to get tires for the rest of my life? I'm going to go to Les Schwab down the road because they're always looking out for you, always taking care of you. And that's just a small example of a normal business, but it's a business where people take care of each other. Is not something that can, if you want to make it a full-time thing, that can be kind of a hobby. If it's just kind of done on the side, it's like an actual business. Effort required to get to that, to get to the goal, to get to the end state. And while you might not need so much time initially, it'll take that effort to succeed. And then, lastly, it's not something that's really going away. I thought it was going to be something that was, a short-time thing. P90X, great. That was one product they put out, but the company's continually evolving to make better products, listen to what people need and want, and it's been very successful, especially since that is where all of seems like everything's going. You can do anything online. And with our lifestyle these days, it's really hard to meet up with people, go to the gym, or meet with a fitness coach. And this is exactly what people need, to have that accountability and fitness somewhere else. So what it is, and this is what I did not think about the company when Kelly started doing it. It's a good company that wants to build up its people. People are really looking out for each other. They're building relationships. They're helping people actually get healthy. And the company itself, not just your team of people, when they see people doing that, are looking out for the people that are building their company and having them come to events and teaching them more and teaching them actual leadership skills and business building skills, not just how to sell something. It's definitely something great if you want to make something work from home and have something different. I didn't think that was the case, and now look where I've gotten to, or we have gotten to. I'm leaving my current job in 6 months, and I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I'm okay with that. We've been able together, Kelly doing all of the work of the business, build something that we can do from here, and kind of totally have given us more opportunities and allowed us to kind of change our lifestyle. It is a company that's going to take time to build, though. It's something that, with more effort initially, you could probably build it faster, but it's something that took, I think, Kelly about a few years to get to a point where we're like, hey, I'm making this happen and I can do this. Part of it was saying, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it happen. And part of it was it just takes time to build those relationships that will then make it sustainable. And it is a company, though, if you think about building a business that is pretty unique, and this is how I had to start looking at it, was it's a company with low overhead. You're not purchasing a building and paying a bunch of employees and all of those types of things. So it's a great opportunity to be successful and build something of your own without some huge investment that's maybe risky or costly. Basically you're paying enough to have people at Beachbody give you a hand when you need it, and probably for some products that you want to use anyway to stay healthy and your business is started. And lastly, it's something that works. This deployment, I decided I got nothing else to do and I need to get myself back in shape. And I didn't do anything drastic. I used the products, I used the programs, and I stuck to it, and it works. It's something that I didn't think was, I think a lot of people think it's not a legitimate program. It's not legitimate health and fitness, but they're teaching legitimate, good, healthy lifestyle and good products and good programs to succeed. So
you do jazzercise.
Yeah, and I guess I always thought it was jazzercise watching Insanity. I'm thinking of Richard Simmons out there. I did Body Beast. I did some just cardio on my own and ate well, and basically went from 205 pounds to currently 165 with drastic reduction in size and things like that. So now granted, I had a little more time on my hands, but that can be done, just continual effort throughout time. So I was very excited about that. So
sound like it.
So lastly, and over to anybody who has questions about anything, but so it's something I'm just trying to reiterate that I've definitely thought it was something that was not sustainable, and how come there's no success right now? But it's a successful model, and it's something that if you take effort, you'll learn a lot, and it'll build something of your own, and something you can build together as a family. But there's some points I want to make on making it work as something that where I felt like I gave maybe more effort when it started. So Kelly started this, hey, maybe I'll give this a shot, see if I can make a little extra money. And I think in everybody's mind, we're like, oh, great, we'll make some extra money. But when that was kind of the attitude, that's what happened. We made a little bit of money, and we kind of got fit, and some stuff kind of happened. And then I don't know when it was, maybe a year and a half or so after starting, she kind of came to me and said, I want to make this happen. I don't want to go back to work. I want to make this work for us, work for me, and started taking it seriously. And once she started doing that and treating it like a business, by kind of something I'm going to make a little side money, it started working. And it also made me look at it more like it was serious. And so when she came to me and said, I guess important to kind of compromise here as well, she came to me and said, hey, I'm going to start getting up at 5 a.m. to do X, Y, Z before the kids wake up. But I need you then to help me out a little bit after work or during these times so that I can do team calls, so I can do et cetera. But because she put that effort in saying, hey, I'm going to make this happen, I'm treating this like a business, it kind of got me thinking, okay, well, maybe we can make this work. And once that happened, it's something you can share success in. Like you said, I was kind of uninterested, and I still don't know. I'm trying to become more learned about the learned. I don't know, somewhere like that. Try to learn more about the business itself, and I just don't. I don't know all that much yet, but I started working towards that direction and trying to understand. That's all right.
It's okay, Lindsay.
And trying to work and doing what I could. At least I started then at that point. Kelly can't stand doing the business side of things, accounting. I don't mind. So here's something I can do.
It's the accounting part I don't like doing.
Sorry.
The taxes. I like the business side.
All right. So I felt like that was something I could help with. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, in that case, just make sure that there's some compromise. And if you're looking for building this together or kind of wanting to have maybe a little more support there, I would say for me, at least, I took it more seriously when I felt that Kelly was taking it seriously and had goals in mind and wanted to make things happen for a reason. And then lastly, I think the thing that I think anybody can, or any guy or any husband, spouse can kind of relate to that I kind of went with, at least initially, was once you kind of understand it's a good company, I kind of was thinking, what's the worst that could happen here? We'll make a little extra money to maybe go out to dinner once in a while, if nothing else, pay that extra phone bill, et cetera, et cetera. And we're trying to be healthy, and worst case, my wife's working out all the time, is going to be in shape. So I know that sounds kind of silly, but those are kind of the things that started to change my mind about it. And I know maybe that doesn't relate to everybody, and I'm more than happy to discuss, the topic more if there's more questions about that. And even right now, if there's questions about something else that I didn't cover, try not to take too much of your time.
One thing I wanted to say too is I know it's hard for your spouse to kind of understand and grasp this whole coaching business. I think a lot of them, their biggest hang up with it is they just don't understand it. They don't really understand the ins and outs of it. And I think what was kind of a turning point for us, and when I started to get more support from Jim, was when I started involving him in it. And it wasn't I was making him do anything. It was simply I was just talking about it, and I was sharing what I was doing during the day, and just letting him have kind of a sneak peek of what I was actually doing. I wasn't just on Facebook. I was building relationships with people. I was sharing challenger successes with him. I was sharing coach successes with him so that he could understand what it was I was doing. And by doing that, I think he started to really understand that it really was a business, that I really was doing something. I wasn't just wasting my time. And I think if you have a spouse who's just, doesn't understand it, isn't supportive of it, then try bringing them into your life. Try sharing that. And it doesn't have to be money. Money does not equal success in coaching. Just think about all of your challengers that you've had, and the successes that they had, because, or the success your coaches have had, no matter how little, because it's really bigger than the financial aspect. It's so much more. It's, changing lives. And, if you're not, financially successful with it right now, you are successful with it on some level. And sometimes it's simply changing somebody's life for the better when it comes to their health. Maybe it's taking somebody who was really depressed and bringing them into a challenge group and really seeing them come out of that depression, or losing weight when they have struggled for so long and never had that. You've got to share that with them too, because that's a big part of what we do as well. It's not just the money. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to talk about it with your husband. I don't think I talked about it with you for ever, like a long time. I don't think he maybe even thought I was still doing it. I think there were times where you actually asked me, are you still coaching? Because it was I never, ever talked about it, ever. It was never brought up. And that was the time I wasn't really taking it seriously. But when I did start to take it seriously, now it's something we talk about all the time. And if I'm having, I'm kind of stuck on something, I can't figure it out, or I have a leadership question, a business related question, now I talk to Jim about it and we discuss it and we try to come up with a solution together. So now it's very much a partnership, and it all stemmed from me just bringing him kind of into this life or into this business. And, he's not an active coach. He has a coach account and I run it, but he really doesn't have anything to do with it at all. So hold on, I'm going to see a question. It says, it seems like he's starting to become serious once he started making money. Is that right? Yes, I think that does help. But at the same time, when I started making money is when I started taking it seriously. Because, like I said in the beginning, I was very wishy-washy on it. It was a hobby. And I treated it like a hobby, and it paid like a hobby. I was very inconsistent with any income. And it wasn't until I started being diligent and setting business hours and being consistent with my hours that my business started to grow. And that's when I started to involve him. But it really, I think doing that from the beginning is important. And the income will come from that, but you've got to put in the effort to do it. And you've got to show that you are serious about it, because this is a business that you have to literally build from the ground up. So it's going to take some effort. It's not going to fall into your lap. So showing your spouse that you are serious about it, and if you're consistent with that, the financial side of that will start to fall in place, and hopefully your husband will start to see it in a different light as well.
Well, and I think when she started to take it seriously is when I kind of started to take more interest in it. And even then, the financial thing aside, I started to learn more about what it was and kind of all the other things I talked about, the good parts of the business, building up leaders, building up business men and women, building up teammates, helping people. That was all a part of it that you don't really see as well. And the financial part didn't come for a decent while after Kelly started taking it seriously. I think I just kind of want to discuss that part as well, because that's a question I get from a lot of guys that are asking about this. Yes, is that it is a business, though. In the end of the day, it's not built that way, though, and I think that's great that it's really about people, and that's what makes it so successful. But I guess there's a question from a lot of guys: where does this business part actually come in, or is everybody just kind of hanging out? And that's really happens. So, if that makes sense.
Did you ever think it was a pyramid scheme?
Pyramid scheme. That's a good question.
I think every husband has. Every guy.
Yes. Everybody thinks it's a pyramid scheme. Now, I still don't know the ins and outs of how it all works, but from what I see of the business, it is not that. And the things that from just outside appearances make it not that, I guess, would be a pyramid scheme usually is obviously a pyramid. That's what I call a pyramid scheme. But there's usually some sort of large entrance fee to this whole thing. That's how you make money, or at least partially. And usually you're just selling stuff. You're selling, like, I'm going to sell you this product, and hopefully we'll sell a bunch of it, and then I'll make money when I get people under me to sell stuff. And obviously there has to be a product of some sort. That's how businesses work. But in this business as well, you're not really selling. It's built on building relationships, helping people get healthy, and the business just follows with that. And that's how it kind of works. And as well as that, the pyramid scheme as well, you're kind of whoever's on top just keeps getting more by people building onto them. But in this business, there's if you're not doing the right things, or if it's just taking you some time, there's kind of ceilings to where you can go, and people that are underneath you as coaches can surpass you in rank, in income, and all those things. Now, will their success help you? Sure, but you're not stuck at some certain level because you're underneath someone else. I'm trying to think. I guess what else?
Okay, so with a pyramid scheme, first of all, they're illegal. So if Beachbody was a pyramid scheme, we would not be in business and we'd be shut down. Now, what makes a pyramid scheme is just like Jim said, there is usually a high buy-in, and the person who signs you up is going to make all of their profit from that buy-in. We as coaches, when we sign up to coach, your coach makes nothing on that sign up. The only way we make income by our team cycle bonus is by the productivity of our coaches. So in order for us to be successful, our coaches have to be successful. So that means that we have to spend the time training our coaches and giving them the tools they need to become successful for us to become successful as well. The other thing is pyramid schemes, the person on top is always going to make the most money. Beachbody has income caps. So I have coaches below me that make more money than I do because they have become more successful than me. Does that make sense? So in order to increase my income, I have to make sure that I am continually, growing. So I can't just sit here and do nothing, and all of a sudden, like, my income is just growing and growing and growing. No, there is limits to that. So that's all things that you need to be aware of. You've also got to think of it this way. Any business, if you look at any business model, any business, Chrysler, Bank of America, any type of business who has employees, you're always going to have your president, your CEO is going to be at the top, and then you're going to have vice presidents, upper management, and then you're going to have employees below. There's always going to be a hierarchy to employees. It's the same with this business. Okay, it's set up the same way. So those are things I want you to think about and try to explain to your spouses, because there is a reason the government has banned pyramid schemes. It was because people were having these high buy-ins, and only the people on top were making money, and the people down below were going broke. We as coaches do not have to buy product to be a coach. We do not have to invest a bunch of money and try to sell this excess product to make our money. We only as coaches have to buy what we want to use personally. So you can still coach and not buy anything. Does that make sense? So I hope that kind of answers your question regarding pyramid scheme. But like any business, in order for that business to be successful, their employees have to be successful. So you have to think of it that way. You know, you're not going to become rich at this by doing nothing. You have to work hard for what you get and for what you earn. This wasn't just laid on my lap. You know, Jamie and I we work hard. We're trying to better ourselves. We're trying to become better leaders, and we're trying to become better teachers for you guys so that we can teach you what we are doing so that you can become successful as well. But the thing is, you have to meet us halfway, and you have to be willing to put in the work and the effort as well. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, if anybody doesn't have anything else, I'll let you guys go. Jim,
I'm sorry, I do have one question. So, I understand the importance of getting your husband signed up as a coach underneath you, right, as soon as you can, mm-hmm. to make the most out of the most money out of it. So if he doesn't believe me for a year, 2 years, whatever, and then signs up as a coach, is it kind of like a wash by then, or will it still be beneficial?
No, I don't think it's ever a wash, because I just think of Jim's business account as my business account. So I essentially have 2 coaching accounts that I run. So it's going to help you with your volume and your cycling, no matter when you do it. It's always going to be that additional income you can have. But the importance, why we say to sign your spouse up first, is because you're going to continue to grow and to build volume, and they're going to be at the top of that. So when I signed Jim up 5 years ago, now I've built up all that volume over the years, and as my business has grown, so has his income. Does that make sense? So it's important to sign them up early, because then you can maximize your team cycle bonus. And that's what we want. Like, we want to teach you to build in a way, we want to teach you to build for rank, because that's important to maximize your team cycle bonus. But we also want you to grow your income as well. And having your spouse be that second business center is the best way to do it. Even if you don't see it in the beginning. I know it was hard for me when I came into this, I was like, I don't want to buy Shakeology. Like, I don't want to spend like $100 a month doing that. And I remember my coach, I laugh about it now. I remember my coach saying, oh girl, she's like, that's just a drop in the bucket later. And I was like, I can't imagine like that being a drop in the bucket, because that was a big deal for us. It was a sacrifice we had to make. And even, when I signed up Jim, thinking, oh my gosh, I both of us have to drink Shakeology. Like, this is just like highway robbery. But now it is a drop in the bucket, and it was worth the sacrifice. It took a little bit of time to grow in the beginning. I wasn't profitable in the beginning, but now, that little sacrifice and trusting the process, now it is the best decision I ever made, because now I'm making 2 incomes, and 2 very good incomes, from simply signing him up as a coach.
And I guess this is why I wanted to come talk, and like I said, I'm the most fluent in speaking about the business. So I'm happy to, field any other questions via email or whatever people may have, and help with the situation, because I didn't really believe in it, and I understand probably where husbands or spouses are coming from, because it's something that totally doesn't make sense. And it's something that's not a usual business. If you said, hey, I'm going to go open this franchise that's very successful all the time, people would probably be like, okay, but it's different. So hopefully giving some tools, and hopefully maybe they'll be able to see this, and I can hopefully, help build a trust in this company and this business. And so again, if there's anything that you all would like to hear about, or have any questions, I'm happy to assist in any of those ways.
Yeah, someone was saying once they have their mindset, they won't change it. It can be changed, though. It can, but you've got to be willing to show them, and to bring them into it, and to take it seriously. Because I think really that's the biggest thing is when, listening to other coaches. I mean, I don't think there's ever, I can't think of a single person whose husband was like, yes, let's do this. Jamie, have you? I think everybody has come from some kind of like, they have no support, and they've kind of got to build that. But the number one thing that changes, I think, husbands' mindsets is when their wives start to take it seriously. Because there's 2 things that's going to happen when you start to take it seriously. Your business is going to grow. It will. Because you're showing up every day, you're being consistent, and you're doing what you're supposed to do for this to grow. And 2, I lost my train of thought. You're showing them that you're taking it seriously. And I think that means a lot. They're not going to think of it as some like silly, you're just playing on Facebook all day. They are starting to understand that there's more to it than just social media. And I think the other thing too that's important is to share your goals and vision as well. If you are a new coach and you have, you really want to make this something big. Everybody comes into this differently. In the beginning when I came into it, I was like, well, if we can make a little extra money, great. But my vision and goals eventually changed over the years, and they're always evolving, and I'm always making sure I'm sharing that with Jim, because he's a part of it as well, and I want him to see the direction that I'm heading. So if you're telling your spouse that, maybe you signed up to coach just for the accountability of it and don't really want to do the business side of it, then share that with your husband and share it with them often so that they know the reason why you're doing this. If you signed up to be a coach because you just enjoy helping people, I have some coaches, they don't care about making money. They just truly enjoy serving and helping people. That's what they want. And I want to make sure that, they're letting their spouses know, like, that's the reason you're doing it. And, if that's the reason, then start sharing those successes, even though it's not tied to a dollar amount, but it's tied to lives changed, like share that with them so that they start to understand, because everybody has different goals with this. And you need to let them know what your goals are. If it's just something that you want to do from time to time to keep you busy, let them know that so that they know what to expect out of you. But if you are in this and you want to build something that's sustainable and that can really change your life, then you need to share that with them, but your actions need to align with those goals as well, because otherwise they're not going to take you seriously.
I think the other thing about sharing, although it might be hard, is I think initially too, it looks like something from the outside that's just going to take a lot of time and take away from. I know for me, I was gone a lot, so more time away when I was home, and then just distractions and whatever else. But if you're intentional about it and have a goal and a plan, and can say, hey, here's what I want to do with it, and here's how we're going to make it work around what we have going on. So there's kind of so everybody's on the same page. I think that helped as well, because otherwise it seemed like just kind of a side thing that was taking up time and effort and things when we already had a million crazy things going on. I think that was a discussion that kind of helped as well.
Yes. Yes, be intentional, set business hours. All right, so Corey, do you have to pay the monthly fee to be active? Well, if you're non-military, you do have to pay the $15 a month business fee, and that covers your website and payroll and stuff from Beachbody. But in order to be active, you have to have your 50-point volume. So, but to stay a coach, you just have to pay that $15 a month business fee. Yeah. So if that's it, okay, I'll really let you guys go now. All right. Thank you. I hope this helped. I hope it's kind of gave a guy's perspective, and hopefully it will give your husbands a better understanding of it. But I think the main thing is you've got to bring them in. You've got to share what you are doing. You've got to share your vision and your goals with them. And you've got to make sure that your actions are aligned with that as well. Because when you start to do that, you're probably going to start to have that support as well. So, all right, with that, have a great night, guys, and we will see you later.